Greetings, this is an advanced GMurphy guide video, edited by my editor. I have ran GMurphy over the past couple of days as well, and this is just the intro, and a lot of people are running GMurphy wrong, in my opinion. They're trying to sacrifice their dying and putting in weird team comps. You can run her just the basic Morimens. You can run her with Corpo. You can run her with, as long as it makes sense. Now, a lot of people are trying to run her with Blue Will. I do not recommend running it with Talo, because the point of Blue Will is you want to flexibly change between blue, white, or red stance depending on the situation on Blue Will, and she's already a good enough unit on her own, and she can already steal GMurphy's card over her Exalt. By putting GMurphy into that comp, you're going to run into problems with sacrifice, and when GMurphy can spin off in her own D-Tide endgame comp in general. And in addition, in the video, a lot of people are running the wrong wheels, the wrong covenants on her as well. I should have made it more clear in the video. People are realizing that you should run Rewinding Time. Rewinding Time is very good if you have it plus 12. Most of you guys don't, but in 4 months you will. Rewinding Time is almost essential. And you want to run as DPS Murphy. If you're running Support Murphy, run the Silver Baby or Life Drain. If you're running DPS Murphy or Carry Murphy, run Dreams of Medicine. A lot of people built her wrong. I noticed a lot of you guys are not building her right, even though I went over in video. You want the Covenant to be Key Flare, crit rate. I only have crit damage because, again, you don't get to choose when you're rolling Covenants for the last stat. But you see, like, I have maxed out Key Flare, maxed out crit rate, max out Key Flare, max out crit rate, max out Key Flare. This is maxed out crit damage. Shall I settle? Max out Key Flare, max out crit rate. This is third stat. You ignore the third stat. Third stat, I settle, because no one has enough resources to get whatever third stat. Key Flare, Key Flare. This is great. You want as much Key Flare as possible. That is how you make her work. Why? Because of her wheel. This increases the Key Flare regen and Exalt final damage generation and everything. She scales very well off Key Flare, like her entire kit does. Like, if you go over her talent, for example, and this as well. Key Flare, Rouse, yeah. You want as much Key Flare as possible in order for her to start doing damage. Yeah, right here, her E1. Waltz the Lemuria Tentacle. Why you want Key Flare is this. Final damage is the best multiplier in the game, period. It's another basket. And any of you guys who suffered through my long tier list video know about the damage baskets. This is one of the best sources of final damage in the game. And that's why my GMurphy does a lot more damage than your GMurphy. You want as much Key Flare as possible on Dreams. As much as possible. If you were a Giga Whale, let's say you were a Dubai Prince, you have some slaves, you know, you have some slaves working on your hotels. Whip those slaves, make them work harder so you can whale out to get more Key Flare. If you are a Saudi oil prince, that's what you should do. But yeah, this Key Flare, you want as much as possible on your thing. And a lot of the GMurphys, even the whale ones, aren't building her correctly, in my opinion. You can disagree. I'm going to work on this. I think I can get 415 this week. I had to go to work, so wasn't able to. Let me just go to a random thing so I can check the whale Murphys. Because before I left this morning, all the whale Murphys suck dick. Suck big fucking dick. Yeah, this sucks. This guy, garbage. Might as well uninstall. Okay, this is probably a new player. He's level 65, but this is garbage. Rewinding Time, this is good. This needs to be Dreams. And this is not enough Key Flare. This is fucking trash. You would just dumpster this Covenant, delete the account. Okay? Well, let's go to this. Garbage. Dumpster this account. Dumpster this account. Fucking garbage GMurphy. Why the fuck is he using Blade of the Titan instead of Rewinding Time? Who knows? Garbage. This GMurphy. Fucking trash. Fucking worst piece of shit I ever seen in my life. Don't run this. This one, god awful. No Key Flare. No fucking damage here. This one. Garbage. No Rewinding Time. Next best option, you don't have rewinding. Another key flare, whatever works key flare. Probably her SSR. But rewinding is the best. So that's how you see in my videos. I keep getting it back. I'll just go all in and I'll show you the difference real quick. If you're using support GMurphy, just don't use this. Use this. I actually still use streams. I would still use streams. I was still running the same thing. I use mouse because I don't have her. This will be placed on her wheel. So I'm gonna keep the same comp both runs. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by the keeper. Not both runs, but I'm gonna quickly enter and exit. I'm gonna quickly enter and exit. Waltz Lemuria. So this is 74, 915. Keep this in mind. This is 74, 915 because of her key flare. So remember all those covenants with no key flare basically. So we're just gonna unequip real quick. We're still having the rewinding time and stuff. So we're just gonna unequip that just to simulate a 0 key flare covenant. So it was 74. I forgot the damage number. It was something. So this is 70 right now. And it's 100 less base damage. Every point of key flare matters hard. Like, key flare is so fucking important on her damage. And plus the crit rate. Because I see people running crit damage. You don't need to build crit damage on GMurphy. Especially on some bosses. You don't need it. This is only with 37. See the mine different? You think 37 is like not a big number? 37 affects the base damage by almost 100. By almost a fucking 100. And it does more in the multiplier as well. It doesn't show the full story. It also, when you crit, remember, final damage is a separate multiplier from crit. So it crit, and then it adds the final, and then it multiplies by the final damage. So it's actually more damage. You're losing out on so much damage if you don't have key flare. This is the most important stat on GMurphy right here. This is the most important stat. If I can, I would just get rid of the crit rate, go on key flare. But I'm not gonna spend that much, dude. So I go for crit rate and key flare. And why do I go for crit rate instead of going all on crit damage? Is because you have a decent amount of crit damage with the sacrifice stats already with her E2 here. And crit rate 3%, you still want crit rate because of how tentacles work. So I'm going to go in and I can go over how tentacles work. Because a lot of people don't know how tentacles work in regards to crit. So, granted, a lot of people shouldn't know. If you know, there's something wrong with you. Where's the additional info? It should be somewhere here. It's a clickable stream. Maybe I hit it. I probably hit it somewhere here. But when you click on one of these, there we go, here we go. You click here. It's god awful UI design. Granted, 99% of you will not know that this is a thing. I did not know this thing for a time. But if you click on not the big tentacle, you scroll down and you check this crit rate. So, blah, blah, blah. That is why you want as much crit rate as possible. Crit damage is whatever, but you want crit rate for this tentacle here. Because it takes let me see. Blah, blah, blah. Tentacle crit damage. Yeah. Real mastery. Blah, blah. This is why. So you want as much crit rate as possible there. And 74. So yeah. But you can use the thing here. You can use Hamel here too. Hamel works well with the eyes. I just like the eyes, baby. Reason why, dude, this is not the optimum wheel. Like, you probably put something else here. Whatever. I just like money. The reason why I have this, I like money. Okay? You caught me. I like money. I'm a greedy little bastard, okay? That is why. Yeah, you don't even need to put anything special. You can put in... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I like to run Lone Seed if I'm not Mouse. I just pick Mouse because I have the rewinding time. But if you don't have it, you Lone Seed. The reason why you Lone Seed is you can dupe the Waltz if you don't have rewinding time. So if you don't have rewinding time, you would actually pick Lone Seed here. Because that way you can guarantee you have a Waltz in hand every turn. What you do is you rewind, you Lone Seed the 3 cost. You Lone Seed her 3 cost, her Waltz. Play the real one. And keep the Lone Seed one in your hand. So that every turn you have access to a Waltz. Because you don't have the... Oh, how do you use her in D-Tide? Okay, I'll show you exactly how I use her in D-Tide. I did 2 runs of her. One with... This is how I use her. I not with the running time or just like a regular SR wheel. It doesn't matter. I picked this because this is what I had left. This is the bare bones alert 5 team I did. This is, SR wheels. This is what I had left. I had these. I'm going to reset this and make it weaker because this is too strong and I memed a lot. And this is only with 2 relics. I only had enough money for 2 relics. So I can go over to replay here. There, fast forward here. There we go. Huh. Replay is bugged out here. So, this is GMurphy. This is, Miriam, maybe. Or Goliath. If it's budget for E0 GMurphy, she's not a damage dealer. She's just a support with the thing. But, yeah. So what I did was I overexalted first turn because you say that for the boss if you have her overexalt. This is so bugged. Oh, you can't even see the HP values. This is pointless. You can't even see the number value. We're doing damage. I assure you, we're doing some damage here. Okay, the replay is bugged out. Okay, replay is bugged out. So, it did damage. You can put Thighs or Hamel here. Thighs, Hamel here, or another blue. Goliath is, for your main team, I recommend Thighs over to Hamel. Because you're not going to be able to rouse the Hamel that often. Hamel is pretty good if it's a very long boss fight. But Thighs offers the Carol utility. That is very nice. Very nice. I don't have much to complain about that. And you get a lot of super babies as with Thighs. Yeah, she power creeps a relic. Yeah, it's worth. Look at this. 78 for a relic. Again, this scales to my account, just like anyone. This is more than your account. But even on my scale count. Remember our waltz? Our waltz was 74. This is a 3-turn cooldown. Now you want to play waltz in blue stance most of the time. 99% of the time, you're just going to waltz in blue stance and waltz, 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 rouse, posse, wows. I run mouse, or you can run her own posse. Why? You want to scale up your tentacles. And doing this, make sure that you can kill anything with just blue stance. Don't bother red stancing first turn or until you have to. Just scale up blue stance. And you don't have to play the Abyss Hymn when you have it. Sometimes you want a holding hand to get rid of sacrifice stacks. Now, if you have run problem with sacrifice stacks, you can run regular Murphy to half the sacrifice stacks. I don't do that. Or you just run Suicide Bomb GMurphy. So now, since our HP is very low, again, I can play this, get rid of all my sacrifice, but that's just this event gimmick. I don't trust in event gimmicks. Not a good indicator. I'm not doing anything. I'm playing the game wrong. I'm literally not doing anything. I'm not doing anything at all here. I'm not playing the gimmick. I'm only doing this. I'm only getting tentacle scaling. And we live. But we have the furnace if we're careful. I'm not doing anything. That was half of the boss's life. Again, event stages are easy. I literally did not do anything. You see me how I played this round. I did not do anything right. I didn't red stance. I didn't GMurphy exalt. Didn't do anything. Don't need to. Didn't even play in the gimmick. Again, I am not doing anything. I did not red stance once yet. I did not exalt once yet. Didn't overexalt. Didn't do anything. Look at our tentacle damage. Did not do anything. I am playing the game wrong. I admit, I am playing the game wrong right now. This is the wrong way to play. Again, we're just gonna end turn. That was without playing the team right. That was without overexalting. That was without, playing Tulu's attack card. I just duped the waltz and just let blue stance kill the enemy. Now, Suicide Bomb GMurphy is what Monchi or Satan likes doing in Arc 1. So what Suicide Bomb GMurphy is you get her E2. Her E2, you scale off crit damage off for sacrifice stats. And then you just keep that sacrifice, build sacrifice every battle. The point is to kill every battle in one turn in order to not have that sacrifice proc and go into the boss with as many sacrifice stacks as possible. You exalt or over exalt, and then you crit on GMurphy and kill the boss before your sacrifice stacks kill you. Now, this is a very risky way of playing it. I play it. I literally should get my A5 wave 2 run with arrows where I start the fight with 1,000 sacrifice and I proc the DR because that's how I like to run in my whale borrow. But the thing is, her E2 is extremely strong that I covered in a video, and I memed on it. So you can never make a boss that set your max HP to 1 again. Now, my editor should have the footage of me memeing and doing 8 billion damage that someone posted on Reddit. So she gets 3% crit damage per 1% max HP value of sacrifice. Now, a lot of people, mostly Pollux players, have no idea how math works. They're like, if your max HP is 1, you get like 30. No. If your max HP is 1%, every point of sacrifice is 300% crit damage. That's how I was able to get 500,000%, like 500,000% crit damage in this footage, and able to do 8 billion damage in one turn. Turn whatever. Because this boss sets your max HP to 1. So in bosses like this, you build up sacrifice stacks the turn before. They set your max HP to 1. Congratulations. You now have 500,000 crit damage. And she becomes the strongest character in the game. No! No! It's because of that stupid mechanic! Oh, that worked! Wait, what? uh...
You did 15 million in 1 hit.
Now, people are now testing the broken interaction of this. If you have a new account, you can test this better than us vets, because since the change, we have more max HP. When you start off at level 1, GMurphy is stronger because you have less max HP, which means it's easier to get more crit damage. Now you're saying, flares, but her Abyss Hymn does 5% on your max HP as sacrifice. You're wrong. Yeah, you must be an Ultra player. There are a lot of actual sources of flat sacrifice things in the game, such as Murphy's Posse or Murphy's Exalt. Or, I'm talking about regular Murphy. Now, regular Murphy, if you're a new player, this is when GMurphy is at her strongest, because your max HP is low. You probably want to run level 1 units to cheese this shit. So you just pop DR, get a lot of DR, run level 1 units with a leveled up GMurphy early game. And regular Murphy, when you exalt, half of the damage you take is taken as sacrifice stacks. So you can clear hard endgame content as a new player with a whaled out GMurphy. Because since your max HP is so low, and the endgame bosses deal a lot of damage, that just means your GMurphy is stronger because of her E2. As I showcased in my billion damage video, the less max HP you have, the better it is as an early game player. Eventually, you can't do this anymore. But early game, if you're a new player, this is great. You run with level 1 units, you run Murphy and GMurphy. And when the boss does one big hit that's bigger than your HP, you exalt on Murphy. You let the boss kill you, proc the DR, your HP's 1. And now you have sacrifice stacks bigger than your max HP. So that's hundreds of percent of crit damage for Murphy to then kill the boss next turn. This is by far the funniest and most broken interaction in the game. Now, billions and billions of damage. It's literally the strongest character interaction in the game. That's why they can never, ever, ever, ever make a boss with reduce your max HP to 1 again. Any interaction that reduces your max HP to 1. Now, I have tried comps such as G-Doll, because G-Doll Final Form reduces your max HP by 10%, but it's 10% of current, so it's now 90%, 81%, 73%. You guys know how math works. I assume you aren't playing Ultra. So that interaction does not work. You have to play so many max HP decreases. So yeah, there are some cases where you want your sacrifice to be bigger than your HP bar. If it's bigger than your HP bar, that's 300% crit damage for GMurphy. So GMurphy is, as you've seen in all the clear records, I'm gonna release a clear record video. I probably already released it. I was probably the only one, and a lot of GMurphy was the only one who cleared a boss before it got nerfed, because the boss is getting nerfed, because a lot of Pollux players complain, because Pollux's weakness are shown in the boss. That's why you see so many bosses with ECOG for the Chapter 4 hard mode. He's popping the ECOG, wailed out plus 12, plus 12, plus 12 Pollux, just failing to clear the boss in time. Because he does not do as much damage as a normal GMurphy. Because he's a pretty bad unit overall. Mostly because a lack of utility. He has 0 utility besides damage. GMurphy deals more damage than him, and she has more utility than him. That's what I rate my units on, relative to other characters. That doesn't mean you cannot clear with Pollux, but in terms of investment, he's a dog shit character. Just like Dorsey, in terms of investment, he's a dog shit character in compared to any other DPS in the game that does stuff for you. GMurphy scales technical damage, gives you shields, gives you key flare, he does everything. Calf does everything. Calf gives you shield, gives you damage, gives you strength scaling, and cards helps you survive. Dorsey at least gives you vuln and strength scaling. Twill gives you barrier, strength down, strength scaling. Every card from every fucking realm. The better characters, GMurphy buffs Blue Will. So Twill is even stronger now. So yeah, those are examples of good kits that will age well in the future. And Pollux's weakness are shown recently. Like, as bosses get more and more HP, his lackluster kit, no utility, will make him useless. They'll need to buff his numbers. You need to wail out on him. That's why you don't see a non-wail out Pollux usually clear content, because you can't. And if you wail on the other unit, you wail on other units that do better, like Jellet, like Twill, like GMurphy, like Calf, like Caster. That help you clear more variety of content. In content that Pollux excel in, you would have already won on any other character. And there are more content that he does not excel in than contents he excels in. So, let's talk more about GMurphy in this advanced guide. So, GMurphy also runs well with Cassia. So, on stream, I sent my editor, I ran it with GMurphy Cassia and showcased the Cassia Poof interaction. So what Poof does since the R2 buff, because it did not do this before, it counts as a discard, and it doesn't discard a card. It just reshuffles it in the deck. So if you have, let's say, 5 cards left in hand, and you have nothing in the draw pile, you Poof the Abyss Hymns. You get rid of all the sacrifice, and you still play the Abyss Hymns. Or you can discard it again at end of turn. If you're having problems with dealing with sacrifice, Cassia is an option. This is a minor Cassia attack here. So if you have, if you use Dreams to Abyss, you can Poof, it doesn't count as discard, reduce sacrifice stacks. The Abyss Hymn is in your deck, so you can get rid of sacrifice really fast if you want to do that. Again, why would you want to do that in most cases? No, but someone can probably figure out a good comp which does that. Which cares about that. So with that, let's say you only have... Okay. With that, let's say you only have, let's say, 5 cards in your deck, so you're guaranteed it. What Poof does is it reshuffles your entire hand again, and you get the things in your hand again. So you Poof, you remove 10% max HP as sacrifice with 2 Abyss Hymns in your hand, with a good hand, and you can end turn and it removes another 10%. So that's removing 20% sacrifice on that one turn. There are other interesting interactions with GMurphy. Just like Dice is too strong, the Lemurian team is usable. Like, a lot of the things are pretty nice. Like, running time is... Well, I don't want to say a must, because you can play it without, but it's very good on GMurphy. Running time is super good on GMurphy. Eventually, you guys can get it plus 12. But you guys are going to get it plus 12 within 3 or 4 months of playing the game now. 3 or 4 months of playing the game now, you're getting it plus 12. Just put it on GMurphy. Rewinding time is too good. But you wouldn't run Caster, like Manglao's running the Caster. You wouldn't even want to run Caster because, not Caster. I don't know why I said Caster. Jenkins. Because people do it because, oh my gosh, Omega Law, crit damage. No, you don't. Promote hit. No, you don't even run that. You know why? Because the sacrifice stacks already provides enough crit damage. That already gives enough. Because they're in Jenkins. Just use Jenkins with Caster. That's its own separate team right there. Because Miriam is always tied to the hit. Sure, for the multi-hit. So Miriam and GMurphy are tied to the hit. The editor should also put this out. Why they're tied to the hit is because of the Lemurian passive for Miriam. Where is it? Here. This Lemurian passive, technical damage is so strong. This is why she's very important. Like, even if you have her E0, this combined with this is insane. I should probably put more Soul Force into her. But I like hoarding my resources. That is insane. Same with Tulu. Tulu goes very well because of his Abyss and this. Technical damage. These technical damage is very, very important on a GMurphy comp. So those two are the most two important units. The last slot is Flex. The last slot is Flex. You can put Goliath or Pharaohs, but if you're a main team, like say story mode, just run the Thighs, because the Thighs, the Eating the Baby and the Furnace helps you heal up from all the sacrifice damage you're taking. Heals up from all the sacrifice damage you're taking. I think that's... Hamel also really works. If you're an Arc 1, I think you would put the Hamel in for the damage hit. Because why? Is because he can get the rouse off. But in Arc 2, I wouldn't put it in. Because in Arc 2, when are you going to fucking rouse Hamel in this team comp? Never. Like, you're going to need to rouse GMurphy to get the Covenants. You need to rouse Miriam first. Miriam, GMurphy. Hamel, at best, is going to be a third rouse. Going to be a turn 3 rouse. So, it's not that good in Arc 2. But it's very good. It's very good. And on a very long fight, a rouse Hamel will do more than a rouse dies in a long fight. Let's say you know a fight is going to last like 7-8 turns, you would put the Hamel over the thighs. It's nothing I would recommend. I don't know why you would want to do that. But some one players can probably theory craft a Cassie, a GMurphy build. This is a nice interaction. That's what I'm about. Because unlike other configurators, I tell you the interactions of every character. You know what Paul's interactions does? He does damage. He does not fit into many team comps. He does not fit into many uses. GMurphy, as you've seen in past few days, I was right all along. Reddit was wrong. She has fit into basically every team comp because of her utility. Her Exalt alone makes her S tier. You cannot play the Abyssums. You cannot do it, and you'll be fine. You can just use her as key player, use her as support. She goes into basically every comp, every DPS in the game. That's her strength. But she can be a carry on her own. That's an example of what a good unit is. She can survive on her own. She can do everything on her own as her own standalone unit. So, her Covenant. I didn't go over this video because I thought it was obvious. You want to, if you have her overexalt, you want to overexalt the first turn. And you want to store all those waltzes with prep until 5 turns later. Because after you rouse her, you get 1 Covenant stack every turn. On the 5th turn, the next Exalt you have on her will double hit. And will inflict more birth ritual stacks as well. So you can get up to 70, 75 ritual stacks, as I've shown in footage before. On the enemy, which is insane, and you waltz and you get millions and millions and millions and millions of sacrifice stacks. And you win. She has the biggest powerful burst in the game. She's probably better than Angela at this point in terms of burst. So you can do that. So you basically overexalt first turn. If you have her overexalt, then you wait 5 turns, then you exalt. If you don't have it, you just wait 5 turns after you rouse her to do the big burst turn. That's just a countdown to when the boss dies. And in the meantime, in those 5 turns, you then use blue stance, play her waltzes. You don't use white stance that often. Remember, it's a 3-turn cooldown. You only use white stance when you absolutely have to. When you know the boss is going to hit this turn and hit the next turn. Because of the retained shield. Most of the time, you want to sit in blue stance as long as possible. Because you'll want to live off of the Lemurian buff Exalt. And Miriam should provide you with enough heals. Just Exalt her every now and then. To survive until the big burst. This is what you have to do to survive. And the 5 turn, and then the boss is dead. More normally, you can burst earlier. That's not a thing, but if you want a maximum value out of the burst, you can wait 5 turns. If you burst on second, third turn, that's fine. I have showcased me bursting on second, third turn when I have to. So the Lemurian comp is her, Miriam, Tulu. The last slot is flexible. You need the Tulu, you need the Miriam for the Abyss Order is very good. Level 60 Tulu, it's great. You need the Miriam for the heal and to regen up Murphy's alienness and all of her sacrament effects. Miriam has the best rouse in the game because of her triple rouse. The last slot, you don't need a Lemurian. You don't need Goliath or Pharaohs because they're both weak in comparison to Miriam and Tulu. Why you want Miriam and Tulu, regardless if you have them E0, whether you have them level 1, it's because of the Arc 2 Lemurian buff buffing tentacle damage. This is extraordinary strong. All Wakers tentacle damage. Plus, both of them gives tentacle damage. And that's what Murphy's all about, tentacle damage. Goliath, Pharaohs does not do that. And Pharaohs, you already have a lot of damage amp, so it's diluted. Because, you know how math works unless you're an Ultra player. You have 200%. Let's say you have 0% damage amp. You now have 100% damage amp. That's an infinite increase. If you have 100% damage amp, you get another 100% damage amp. Your damage is now doubled technically. But if you have a lot of damage amp, which is what already Murphy provides, all that, let's say you have 500% damage amp. You have 100% more damage amp. That is only, let's say, 25% more, no, 20% more damage amp or 20% more damage because of how math works. That's only 20% more damage. Whereas you have no damage amp, where you have only 100% damage amp, that damage amp is more valuable. So you want other multipliers, different baskets. That's why final damage is so good. That's why crit damage is so good. Because it's another basket you can put your multipliers in. So the cons overweighs the pros of having Pharaohs on your team unless you absolutely need her for the Vuln Dispel. If it's a main story team, I would recommend putting in Winkle for Ultra Turn to fill up GMurphy. Put in fucking Dyes. I like Dyes for a main story team. Why? She dupes the waltzes. Make them cheap so you can scale up even faster. You have the embryos. Because you're always going to double posse. And every double posse makes a super baby. You always double posse because she generates so much key flare. So you're always going to have the babies. And the baby solves your alien miss issues on GMurphy, on Miriam, on Tulu. So you can exalt every turn. And Dyes and Carol, the Carol realm also gives you the Furnace, which lets you heals up from the sacrifice stacks. And on turns where you don't have white stacks and you need to heal, when Dyes eats a baby with her Exalt, you get the Embryo Shield as well. It fixes the weaknesses. On Arc 1, Hamel also works. Hamel works, he can let you double play more waltzes to scale up faster with his memory rondo. Very good unit. And on burst turn, he can help you double up the waltzes, on a burst turn to make him play cheaper. You can store up a lot of his rouse cards for the burst turn to make all the waltzes cheaper. To able to red stance, play all the waltzes, and kill the boss. He also works. Corporal also works. The discard is anti-synergization with Miriam, but that's fine, because you still get the prep effect from this card. Why Corporal works? Because it's her racism buff. Her racism buff right now cheeses Chapter 4 boss. And she buffs your tentacle damage. That's good. You play all of her pilots because you don't care about the pilots. But the pilots now give good shielding outside of white stance. Because the scaling on Murphy is better than the scaling on her pilots. You play her for the pilots, just to shield up. Corporal works as well in this comp. Those are the GMurphy comps I recommend. Besides using her as a support. As a carry, these are the comps I recommend. They work. They're tried and tested. What does not work as well? Blue Will works, but is not that good. Caucus is better because, again, you don't want the GMurphy realms. You want to be able to flexibly change between blue, white, red stance whenever you want, rather than having that cooldown turn with the will. And you want to steal the cards anyway. Because Caucus, G-Doll, Hamlin, it's already a complete team. I was the one who made the Blue Will team. I originated the comp. So I would know. It is already complete. You do not need to put the GMurphy on this team at all. How team building works in this game is you do not look at a tier list, say, oh, these are all S tier characters. Let's put all the S tier characters in a team. That's not how team building works in Morimens. That's why I make unit guides, team guides, etc. A lot of players do that. A lot of guide makers put all the S tiers in the team. It does not work well. Anyone who has half an ounce of sense, no, it does not work. Like, let's say Tawil S. I've seen this so many times. Tawil S tier, Gel S tier, Thighs S tier, and let's put in the 24 or something. Yeah, no, you want a carry and you want supports to support the carry that synergizes well. Let's look at Tawil, for example. Tawil S tier. You don't want to put another DPS with her that steals her cards because Tawil's the main carry. You want to play her cards. There's the card economy in the game. That's the same thing with GMurphy. The card economy is GMurphy alone. When you put her and Tawil in, they're both going to be competing for whose cards you're going to play. They're both going to be competing and the whole stance. So it's anti-synergistic is what I'm trying to say. Like if you were to put in, let's say, a G-Dog into a fucking Jellic comp to buff the bleed damage. That's also anti-synergistic because you're gonna play only Jellic and Thighs card. That's all of your mana already. You still like you have mana to play the 3-cost heal. No, you do not have the mana. And the Karam already has heals. They're all S tier characters according to the tier list. According to every tier list, they're all S tier. You do not put all S tiers into a team comp. That's not how it works. That's why Karen is so good because you don't play her cards at all. She's just there and she just sits there and watches you. That's why Horla is good. She just sits there and watches you. You don't have to play their cards to be effective. And that's why Pollux is bad in a caster team. Because you want that fucking Quasar on caster. Pollux does not have Quasar, but he clogs up the deck. It makes it so that you play Onyx Plume's Lex. You get less of a chance to get the Quasar Plume to scale up your caster. Because you know why? When you Sacred Heart, the Sacred Heart goes in top of your draw pile. That means that's one less card you get next turn. That's one less chance of you getting a caster card to Quasar. Is it strong? Sure, but it's a waste of pools. Why would you need another limited unit rather than a Jenkins, which does not clog up the deck as opposed to, let's say, Pollux? That's the issue a lot of people are running into. I told you guys, not a good unit. That's why people are struggling. So, additional things about GMurphy is every Enlightened is good. Her E1, a lot of people are not building her key flare. I see a lot of people who are wrong. They're propping ecogs everywhere. So they're putting Titan's Blade. She does not need Titan's Blade. Don't put Titan's Blade. Put on key flare. Because her E1 is final damage based on her key flare regen. You see 0.2% is, oh, that's terrible flares. Oh, it's only 0.2%. That 0.2% adds up because it's final damage. As I go on the multipliers, go on the basket multipliers. Any of you guys who have played Diablo, any of you guys who have played Path of Exile, any ARPGs, know about damage baskets, the analogy. I'm not going to go rant like in my caster video because this is Thanksgiving, Happy Mood Day. So, final damage is its own separate multiplier from most damage sources in the game. It's its own basket, and it's the hardest thing to get. So, that's why it is very good. You want every ounce of final damage you can possibly get. Final damage is the best. So that's why you want key flare wheels. You want rewinding time and you want her wheel. In fact, if you don't have any of the wheels plus 12, running time plus 12, you'll get it eventually after 4 months of playing. Go all in the rewinding time. Everyone will have a plus 12 rewinding time after 4 months. Because it's from the shop. It's not something you wail for. It's just time gated. Just spend everything on rewinding time to get the card back. Use that on her so you can get back the waltzes. So you can play more waltzes. Mouse Wisdom, waltz. To scale up faster. You want to scale up as fast as possible. That's what you gotta do. for GMurphy. And doing that, you can play the comp wrong. I played the comp wrong. I memed super hard on the stream. I played the comp entirely wrong. Doesn't matter. You just let blue stance kill everything. It's easy mode. That's why she's a strong unit. No thought. You just scale. Just scale, scale, scale. It's a very simple unit. Overtuned in my opinion. Her overresult, not needed, but I like it. You know why? It generates the walls. So it does. You don't use her overresult that much. You basically never use it for mob fights. You just kill the mob fights normally with the Tulu Murphy. And on a boss fight, the very first turn of a boss fight, you overresult. And then you rouse her. And then you keep the waltzes you generate from the overresult in your hand till they cost 0. And then on the 5th turn, after you for the 5 covenant stacks, you overresult or just exalt on Murphy, red stance. And then you kill the boss with those extra waltzes. That is the GMurphy damage combo. She becomes the strongest burst damage unit in the game. If you invest in her. It's actually without investing in her. Pound for pound, she's the strongest burst unit in the game. Investment to investment level. E3 to E3, OE to OE, plus 12 to plus 12, she's the strongest unit in the game. And I have shown that repeatedly. I have shown that on stream. I have shown that with the statistics. I've shown that this D-Tide. I've shown it outside of D-Tide. Anyone who wants to debate with that, show me. Because they don't exist. So that goes over most of what I want to say about the GMurphy intro. My editor would have put, clips of me talking about GMurphy in between this from my various streams. Could be an hour video. Could be a 30-minute video. I don't know how long this video is. But I got Thanksgiving to attend. I'll see you guys later.